So far, we've learned about Word and we've also learned about Excel, but we've been using those programs independently. For Excel exercise 15, however, we're going to be combining Word and Excel. In this exercise, you're going to have to look at Excel exercise 15 sample A. And if you look at it, you'll see that we're going to be making 3 charts on 3 separate worksheets. If you look at the data shown in the sample book, you'll notice that some of the words repeat. For example, ABC electronics, capacitors, resistors, totals. So we've already learned that there are some shortcuts. For example, if I click sheet 1 and hold down the shift key and then click sheet 3, the word group appears at the top in the title bar. So that means while the sheets are grouped, if I type ABC electronics in cell A1, just take a look. Sheet 1 has it, sheet 2 has it, and then sheet 3 has it as well. Okay, so by grouping sheets together, typing in one sheet causes every sheet to have the same data typed in. Okay, uh, I have to regroup these sheets, so I'll click sheet 1, press shift, and click sheet 3 to regroup them. Okay, so if you look at the data, there are some cells that have the same data. So in cell A5, for example, I can type capacitors, um, resistors, diodes, IC boards, and totals. Okay, and you know what? I can click that cell and bold it as well. I can click this cell and bold it. Um, can I group and type the rest of the data? Well, no, I can't because the months and the values are going to be different. So after you've grouped it, you can click the other sheets and you can see that they all have the same words. But I'm going to click sheet 1 and I'm going to have to type in January, okay, and February, and March, and Q1. Okay, and the rest of the values I'm going to have to type them in individually because each cell has a different number. We can't group these together. So you can just do that. 100235 and so on. Okay, now that I've entered in all the values for all the different columns, I can select these cells and click the AutoSum button. Okay, and that adds up these cells. I got 2006. So I can do that for each one of the cells, or I can save time and just highlight these two different rows and press that. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, cancel that. I guess I have to highlight these one by one. Okay, and then after that I can highlight this column and click that. Okay, so we're going to have to highlight individual rows and individual columns separately. Okay, so when you get the first worksheet done, okay, what we can do is we can highlight cells A4 to D8 and go insert, chart, and we want a column chart, next, next, and next, and finish. And that generates our first chart on sheet 1. So just look at your sample book and make sure that your chart looks the same as this one here. Okay, so now that we're done sheet 1, you just click sheet 2 and continue making the other remaining charts. Just remember also that there's a shortcut. We can type in April and use the fill handle and it'll automatically enter in May and June for you. Okay, so we're going to have to type in the missing data, and unfortunately, for the remaining data, you'll have to type it in manually for each cell. Okay. Okay, once again, I've typed in all the data. I can resume highlighting rows and auto summing to get the quarter totals. And I can also highlight the columns and auto sum to get the monthly totals. Okay, you'll have to do that one by one. And once you've done that, you've got all the calculations done. Again, highlight cells A4 to D8 and go insert chart column, next, 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 or you can just click finish and you'll get a second chart. Okay, then click sheet 3 and repeat. Okay, so once again, once you've entered all the data, you can auto sum to get the quarterly totals, and you can auto sum to get the monthly totals, and after you've entered in all that, again, select cells A4 to D8 and insert a chart, and we can just click column and click finish because we're just getting a standard chart. So we're finished part 1. Basically at this point you should have sheet 1 with a chart, sheet 2 with a chart, and sheet 3 with a chart. And the charts all look a little bit different because they have different values for different months. Okay, so at this point, please save this workbook in either your 3.5 floppy A, or if you want, you can save it on your removable disk. And please call this SS15 on your USB drive or 3.5 floppy. Save it, and you can minimize it. Okay, and at this point, please read your instruction book, because you'll notice that the instructions for part 2 tell you to create a Word document that looks like exercise 15 sample B. You're told to make a document that has margins of 0.7 inches with a title that's Arial 24 point bold, headings that are Verdana 16 point bold, and a table with 2 columns and 3 rows. So if you're using Microsoft Word, okay, you click and open it. First thing you should do is go to File, Page Setup, and in the margins, please change each margin setting from the default setting to 0.7 inches. Do that for top, bottom, left, and right. Leave everything else the same. Okay, click OK. You're going to have to type in ABC Electronics unit sales by product. Okay, and after you've typed in all that, you're going to have to change the heading to Arial 24 and bold it. Okay. All right. After you do that, you're going to have to insert a table. So go table, insert table, and you're going to need a table that has 3 columns. Sorry, 2 columns and 3 rows. So 2 columns and 3 rows. Click OK. You'll get something like this. Okay. In the first column, first row, I'd like you to type first quarter, then second quarter, and third quarter. Make corrections if you need to. Okay. And the headings are going to be Verdana, and the font size is going to be 16, and it's going to be bold. So you can actually save some time and highlight 2 or more headings and change them at the same time. Okay. All right. And at this point, you could even click and drag each one of the rows on the bottom and make the row larger just by adjusting, clicking and dragging. Okay. All right. So at this point, we've finished making we're finished making this document, and yours should look the same as Excel exercise 15 sample B. Okay, we can make changes later on, but you should still have your Microsoft Excel document open. That's SS15. So you click and open that, click sheet 1, and this is the chart we made earlier. So click to select it, then go up to edit and copy, and that copies that chart we made from sheet 1. Go back to the Word document that you just created. Okay, click in this cell here, go up to edit and paste. And you see what happened? That chart gets dropped into that cell. Okay, now it's a little bit too big for our purposes, so we can click on that chart, use one of the handles, and make it a bit smaller. Okay. Okay. We've done the first one. Go back to your Excel. Now we have to click and select sheet 2. Click on the April, May, June chart. Go edit, copy. Go back to our Word document. Click in the second quarter. Edit, paste. Okay, again that's too big, but we'll resize it in a moment. Okay, go back to your Excel. Click sheet 3. Select the chart for July, August, and September. Edit, copy. Go back to your Word document. Click and drop it in that cell, edit, and paste. And so we basically have 3 charts that have been pasted into our Word document. Now, it's good to resize them all so that they look the same. So just click and use the handle and resize them so that they are similar, if not the same, then at least very similar in size. Okay, that makes it look a little bit more professional. Okay, there might be a couple of other things you might want to do. I left out 2000, so you might need to type in some missing numbers. And I believe these are bold. Okay, and I might have to make these ones a little bit smaller in order to fit everything. Okay, so that looks better. And you'll notice that there's also a very thin line underneath the title. Okay, I'll show you guys how to do that one as well, because I don't know if I've taught you this yet, but you can go View, Toolbars, and Drawing. That reveals the drawing toolbar down here, and you can click the line button, and you'll see this box here called Create Your Drawing here. Just press the Escape button to cancel that, and you'll notice that my cursor is now across. Click, drag, and let go, and that inserts a line. If you want, you can use the handles and drag it to make it longer or shorter. And you can even put your cursor right on the line until it becomes a four-way arrow, double click, and you can even make the line thicker so that it's easier to see. Okay. Anyway, let's see what this document looks like. If you go to page width or go to whole page, you'll see that your document should look something like this. And when you're finished this assignment, you can save it on your USB. Go back to your instructions and read your instructions, and when you're done, the instructions tell you to save it as sales. Okay, so this document, go file, save as. You can save it on your 3.5 floppy or your removable disk, and we will call this file sales. Save it, and you are finished. Please show this to your teacher, and he will check that you've done it correctly. You are now finished.